Hello everybody. Today we're just going to be continuing with Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Oh. Yeah, I've been playing in my off hours for some times, so yeah. So yeah, if you see this one up here is the one that I've been doing off stream. Why is it saying that I only have Avalon in my party? I have more than Avalon. Oh, I'm too quiet? Is that better? Or am I just saying that or am I just being quiet myself? Alright, sounds good. Oh, boy. We're all the way back here. Shouldn't have quit during dialogue. Note to self, do not quit during dialogue.
Pathetic worm.
It will send you back quite a ways.
You dare to argue with your
Alright,
master.
we've seen this already. I am going to try and upload the first one to the channel. Provide me with a navigator and I will depart the station immediately. I do not think that this is possible. Iraq 5 is an observation station. We do not sign contracts and do not provide navigators. We delve into the depths of infinity. By the way, how does my stream kind of look? I'm trying to kind of a new look this time around. Yeah, one of my cats is just staring right into your soul. Yeah. That's good. We do not sign contracts, and besides, fleet gestures around him, you've chosen an opportune time for negotiations. I am Lord Inquisitor. Oh, I am looking for the Lord Inquisitor. His interrogator, one Henry von Kallax. Do you know anything about his present location? The Lord Inquisitor's interrogator? I think I would know such an important individual who came to pay us a visit. What's happening on the station? Where did all these bodies come from? Sorry if I'm going, like, very fast. Betrayal. A most banal thing in the life of a nobilite, don't you think? I was stabbed in the back by my closest friend, Theobald Oslo, the second keeper of Iraq 5, and my mentor. On his instruction, my own people sabotaged the generators, blew up the shuttles, and brutally massacred the loyal servants of the mistress. Most unforgivably, they dared to take her prisoner. Greedy scum, I swear by the throne's light, their souls will perish in the darkness of the void. Fleek falls silent for a few moments, and then furiously slams the end of his staff into the floor. The madman have captured Lady Cassia and are now torturing her upstairs while we are idly chatting down here. Help me rescue her or be gone. but waste no more of my precious time. What kind of help are you talking about? I would never ask such a favor under different circumstances, and yet... Fleek takes his hand away from his rib cage, notices blood, and winces in pain. And yet, Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't got many people left, and my wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness. But you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the mistress's chamber, you will need to remake a holy relic sanctified with the blood of Lady Orselio herself. This is the control rod of the elevator machine spirit. I have one part, and the other was lost during the mutiny. But even this relic will be of no use unless the elevator mechanism is powered. How do I remake the control rod? I have a phylactery containing the mistress's blood. The phylactery containing the mistress's blood, which is... It needs to be taken to the laboratory, which is located behind one of the reliquary doors, and the most ancient and sacred mechanisms will help rebuild the rod. The tech priest ceaselessly performed the rites of appeasement so that the machine spirits would serve the house in its time of need. The fateful hour is upon us now. How am I supposed to power up the elevator? The station's main cogitator is inside the guard room. Just enter the correct sequence and the sacred machine will do the rest. I guess that makes sense. So what have you decided, descendant of the Von Valancius line? It would be an honor to save the Lady Navigator from her woes. Fleek nods curtly. You should hurry, then. We will stay here to hold the line and lick our wounds. Good luck, rogue trader. May the Emperor's light be with you. Alright, so it didn't just give me those two.
That wasn't so difficult.
The corpses were mauled by... So I've played this section a lot because I've been trying to get through a
White. Pure color. And it's all riddled with horrible veins that carry the poison of fear and pain throughout its body. Who are you? Why are you crying?
I've been trying to get through Grim Darkness mode on my off time because, you know, it would be unfortunate to be streaming and then have to restart the entire thing over. But until that happens, I'm going to be continuing as I am. Alright. Let us go.
To arms!
Argenta. Wait, I should have looked at what that... That was an accident? Okay.
Doubt is for the weak.
Run and gun, Argenta. Behind the desk.
Rejoice in battle. As the Emperor commands, my son can escape
There we go.
the Emperor's judgment.
Took two out.
Stay vigilant.
Squad commander. What's he
My
doing?
faith strengthens
Unquestioning
me.
order.
Weapon at the ready.
Well, that was not very good. Neither was that.
Weather the storm.
Daria.
I know what is to come.
Daria moved there.
On it.
Kill the guard med. Oh. Well, not quite, but close enough.
Was that you? Or
What do I have in my other hand? Something more long range, I hope. Alright, let's... Ooh! Well... Took him out. Take a command.
I'll make it happen.
Open fire. Heck yeah.
Follow my lead. Break them around.
Abelard, move up there. I should really give Abelard a
I
offhand
will do
gun
my duty.
or something.
Victory is imminent.
We'll do that because we can't do that in the middle of combat. Do I have anything in his other hand? No, I do not.
No matter the cost. A tactically sound approach.
I was in such a bad position. I really should have
Indeed.
gone
Once you
to
target,
move him. Ugh. So annoying. At these lower levels, like,
Follow my lead.
heroic acts are not that good.
Just a minor setback.
Because, like, at a later level, I'll be able to give him 20 movement speed, and he'll be able to move in and out of enemy melee ranges.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. I'll do it.
Magenta, reload,
Doubt is for
and
the
take
weak.
the shots.
Strife is a prayer. As the
Revel and
Emperor
slaughter.
commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless. Guided by faith,
Move up,
I'll do it.
and shoot. Aww. That was a 74% chance.
Cover me.
Alright, let me see here. Yes, I can get him.
Be gone.
Ooh, that dealt like 18 damage, I think.
Will do.
I don't need luck. I have strategy.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. At your beck and call. I will do my... High momentum.
Alright, endure. How's everyone's evening going so far?
Doubt is for the weak. Power resides in the will of the righteous. I'll do it. Eradicate it.
Alright, there we took out some guards. Alright, I read that last time. I'm going to hopefully be able to upload the video. Did I already mention this? I'm going to hopefully be able to upload the video tonight before it gets
Keep your
deleted
wits about
from
you.
Twitch. But if not, oh well. We'll just continue as we are. We got a
That's how it's done.
statue of a famous Calexian sculptor and chronicler, Zachary Vernon the Magnificent. The 23rd year of the millennium, original. Huh. That's good. It's always good to engage in some hobbies.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Hopefully, 80% chance. Let's go.
Never doubt me.
Most of these unfortunate souls took their own lives by slicing their guts wide open. Ooh, boy.
Would you look at that?
What is this? A meteor chunk. Ooh. Interesting. Ripper pistol. That's some pretty good shots. Eight shots and some frag grenades. That's good. Consumables. Yeah. Abelard. File signed with the initials. Change in circumstances. Alright, I have these. Oh my goodness, I haven't been... Who would benefit the most from a toughness boost? I think it would be Abelard. Armor class. I do not like the look of that on him, so let's turn that off. Give them a total of 40. Nice. Alright, that is all medium armor, which I think only Argenta uses. And it's worse than Argenta's, so that's cargo. Logic. Let's see here. Let's give our Arc Militant... Where'd the Ripper pistol go? There it is. Ah, I was blind. It was right here.
Always keep your eye on the prize. Miscalculations are for commoners. I don't make mistakes.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
Disarm the trap.
I better myself through my service.
Got some navigator flash. Ooh.
Damn warp. If we'd been in real space, I'd have...
Idira, stop castigating yourself.
Idira.
Your
I always
soothsayers
mispronounce her
have always
name.
been
I'm like
vague.
Adara.
Even if you had her, who among us would have realized that it was Lady Theodora who was in peril?
Castigating.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Ooh, that's actually a pretty good sword. Let's give Abelard a sword. I'll put on those gloves. I do have the ability to... Let me check something. I think I have the ability to... Character, features, death sentence, talents. Castigated. Lawful intervention, yes. Ooh. Ooh, boy. For him. Yeah, like, Abelard is super simple. Argenta should be simple, but I'm like always Argentina. Which I'm not working with the country, I'm, you know. What are you doing? There's a little criminal on my... countertop. On my countertop. Over there. She's over there and she's being a criminal.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Ah,
Is there money to be
We
made?
glad we
deal
got
with
that.
this.
Because
The Emperor favors me today.
wasn't a high roll chance. Did I get a message? No. Alright. Did you hear screams? Move! Sir, are you alright? We can't hear anything. Now I see it. You're in league with them. This is an insurrection. Yes, indeed. Death to the traitors. Sir, what are you doing? Get a hold of yourself. I know you are all traitors. Traitors. They told me, they whispered, hey, who are you? There we go. Shotgun. Alright. Another data core. Or data crypt. Another. I should. Scrappy auto pistol. I know she has an. Let's. It deals 2 more damage. Abelard, open the door.
Lesson learned.
Yadira,
I always have a backup plan.
I'm just gonna start throwing them all at it
Experience.
in the hopes that it
Nothing matters
unlocks
more.
until we get a tech priest or someone who can unlock the doors for us. Alright, what did I get? Carapace. Ooh. Is this better than mine? Yes, but it removes my sick shoulder pads, so there you go. I want my sick shoulder pad. Let's give us some grenades, just in case. Things take a quibbly turn. Why did I say
That's not
quibbly?
the-
I don't even know what quibbly means. Oh, some servants. And someone named Uwe. It's dripped down her spine. Uwe has had his tongue cut off, just like the rest of the servants of House Orcelio. What the heck? That has never happened before when I talked to him. For some reason, the archenemy's twisted influence has found its way into the station. Open the door. It's drip or drown, Spider-Man. Okay. I don't know what I was reading. Awaken the machine spirit. Let's request the child's location. Examine the log. Local data crypt is partially corrupted. Ooh. This is Officer A. The Vox recording hisses for some time before you hear a voice. This is Officer A282. A282. Try and say that 5 times fast. A282. Ah, God. Do you copy? Several generators overheated on the lower levels. Chambers A to D are unpowered. The Tech Priest crew sent sent to investigate the problem is not responding. Requesting back. The officer's speech is interrupted by shouting, and the recording abruptly ends. This is Officer H123 speaking. 200 servants have perished due to explosive decompression of the living quarters. We've located traces of mechanical interference. The preliminary cause of this is officer sabotage. Crew 5, 6, and 9 are cut off from the main compartment. We have enough oxygen for 20 minutes. May the Emperor save our soul. Save our souls. Senior officers, this is the captain speaking. We attempted to contact the Winterscale Scion for help, but something is jamming our signal. We never received a reply and cannot be sure it was even sent in the first place. A rescue team is not coming. We are on our own, so remain vigilant. Anyone could be a traitor. You hear me? Anyone. If in doubt, shoot to kill. If you are in doubt, shoot to kill. The Vox recordings are too badly distorted to make out even a single word. The following Vox recordings, sorry. Read the recent entries in the incident log. Report X88. Originator classified. Date classified. The servants close to the child have started butchering one another again. An order came from above to have the remains reprocessed. They start butchering each other again. That seems like a problem. The negotiation with the winter scales were a success. A new batch of servants will arrive in 10 moons. Escort them to the laboratory. Once the imperative, we increase the new retainer's resistance to the child's powers. Okay. Data expunged. Sounds like an interesting thing. Examine the station's docking log. Almost completely corrupt, but you managed to recover the latest entry. Regent Aranto Arcelio, date classified. Reason for visit classified. Date of departure classified. Thank you. Very helpful. Warning, damaged, technical, LH. View the encrypted data. Alright. How much do you want to bet that we won't succeed this here? Oh! Hey! 85%, and we got it! You easily bypass the restrictions imposed on the sacred machine. The cogitators' overloaded processors were unhappily. Child delete, picked. Disposal delete. Yield surviving excerpts from Guard Captain's report mentioning that the security system has recently been reconfigured without his knowledge. His comment reads... Sorry. Reads, only Keeper have access to the life support systems, but Keeper Thorobald has not left the child's side, and neither had I. Could it be that... Wait a moment. I know what happens later when you confront him, but this is actually one of the first clues that I'm actually getting. Now that I'm actually sitting down and reading it and not skimming it. I have a bad habit of doing that in my own personal game. Return to the list of available commands. Call Ricard Minoris for help. The system cannot carry out your command despite its eager compliance of the machine spirit. One thing is certain. The problem does not lie in the cogitator's mechanisms. Switch to the main chamber's controls. Open all doors. The vid screen goes black as if the machine spirit had fled. They're mechanical caskets. but your assumption is incorrect. It fills with static a few moments later, but you can barely make out the inscription amidst the flow of rapidly changing systems. Warning, data corrupted, processing, error. I'm not reading that. Is required. What does that do? The cogitator takes a few moments to gather data. Has already been opened. Okay. Already been opened. Is depressurized. Okay, that's bad. The protocols have been executed. The passage has been opened. Alright. Already been opened. Let's see. What does this one do? Alright. Let's see. Ah, nice. That must be the that must be the laboratory. Or I know that's the laboratory. Main elevator control. Activate the elevator. Processing query confirmed. Return to a list of available commands. Step away from the cogitator. In dialogue.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Ooh, good. Lore bonus. Willpower bonus to lore warp. Could be useful. Ooh, too many voices. I can hear the rage. The door is open. Come avenge us. Okay. Well,
Always keep your eye
that's
on
not
the
ominous
prize.
at all. Give me a second. Alright, sorry about that. Just had to ban somebody. What is going on? Hi. Why are you meowing? I believe so. It was just... It was one of those things, scam things, where it's like, you can get viewers here, yada yada yada. I got a chunk of flesh, apparently. Medicaid, synthetic and bear. Stretch to the side opposite the entrance. Huh. Another data crypt. Caustic reagents.
Keep your wits about you.
Alright, let's go through here. I can vaguely remember what the solution to this puzzle is. Oh. But I might need info. More and more servants are being influenced by the Immaterium, and it has nothing to do with the child's more frequent tantrums. We've discovered that the corrupted flesh of the mutator reacts most unusually with the crystals we purchased from the Winterscale dynasty. I strongly recommend finely grading them. Not use acid under any circumstances. Trust me, you will not like having to tend to the burns from the next dozen churns in a row. This calls for something more basic. Oh, and one more thing. The Tech Priest's Blessed Data Crypt 441OK, H41OK, for the calculated chrono turn speed, which means it's no longer necessary to remain near the device for waiting to start the reaction. Malfunctioned over the course of research. Okay. That tells us some stuff. Adamantine.
I always keep my options open.
So, I'm remembering from last time.
Intriguing.
It's the other one that I didn't bother reading this time. Talks about black water and 40 and O4 OH. So we can't use. Here it is. Black water. We can probably, and we can't use. It was a biogel. So we should probably use biogel. Experimental notions. Test subject exhibits acute signs of stress. One female subject died within an hour in the laboratory adjacent to child's chambers. Paralyzed patient who lost the ability to speak due to cause. Huh. Tissue flask. So we use the mutated sample. Conducer. What was it? 41? We're using biogel and then crystal dust. Let's hope this works.
What do we have here?
Yes, it did. We got adaptive antidote, immunity to toxin damage, but minus 10 penalty to toughness until the end of combat. Adamantine. Because it mentioned adamantine and just a simple flesh sample. So we're going to use this flesh sample. It was 04, not 40. Crystal fluid. Do not use black water. Use unidentified acid. And reagent, adamantine dust. And then we activate.
This could be an opportunity.
I've done this one several times, so I know that puzzle almost by heart by now. There are a couple that I know very well, and then there are a few that I don't. Wait a moment. What the heck? That statue wasn't like that when we came in, right? No, I distinctly remember that statue not being twisted and not covered in blood.
Is there money to be made?
But yeah, it was a bot, I think.
Unexpected result.
Alright. Fleek Orselio looks a little better. His tangled hair is now neatly braided, his wounds tightly bandaged, and there is a healthy color under the scales of his cheek. You dealt with the threat and powered the elevator. Well done. I trust I trust you brought the activation rod as well. Remember, every second of hesitation may cost my mistress, her life. It's alive. The statue? I really hope so. I really hope not. I would really, really hope not to fight. Adora suddenly cocks her head and drives her nails deep into her shoulder. Then she starts mumbling, "The crossroads. There are two paths, both stained with blood, both leading to the accursed eye. They all wear masks, so poor and flimsy, they fall at the slightest touch. One is hiding a blind man, another a traitor." Okay. I've seen this before, and I've never really read it. Fully, I just saw, like, two paths, masks, blind man, and traitor. So, I know Fleek is a traitor here. Thank you. Everything's clear now. Thank you. I did not understand a single word. Who is who? Do you see behind the masks? Tell me more. What paths? I cannot say. One is paved with blind faith, and the other hatred and treachery. Both lead to tragedy. You simply have to decide which kind of tragedy you like most. You know what? Thank you. I did not understand a single word. Idora nods tiredly and glances at Fleek out the corner of her eye. The station has enough problems without your sorcery, Saiga. Fleek waves Adora off and looks at you expectantly. I have many questions regarding about what happened on the station. You think they are worthy of the life of my mistress? Who is the child mentioned in the documents and reports I found around on the station? You meddled with something that you should have left alone. The keeper folds his arms and shakes his head disapprovingly. The child is what the servants call Lady Cassia. For the commoners, dirty mouths must not sully her name by uttering it. You see, it is not beneficial for all servants to have their vocal organs altered. Some prove more useful when they are still able to speak. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. I mean, I knew about that already because, like, there's memes and stuff. But, like, the blatantness of it, you know? The madmen I fought were convinced that we were the traitors. Fleet gives an indifferent shrug. That's why they are insane. Will you heed the ramblings of retainers who dared to raise their hand against the scions of a noble bloodline? The servants alone cannot be blamed for what happened on the station. Most corpses I discovered were either unharmed or feeble. Did you really think that mere servants could plan a coup? Senior officers are just as guilty. Half of my guard butchered one another because they suspected treason. As for the real culprit, the coup was staged by those closest to the mistress. Destroying the shuttles, shutting off the power, and disabling the security system. Too many of these require special access available only to the keeper of the station. As I'm sure you are aware, there were two keepers of the station. Your guess is correct. Theobald Arcelio, the demented old man obsessed with Lady Cassia and her power, and also the one to blame for the woes that have befallen Iraq 5 and our noble line. I listened to recordings of a private you purposely neglected the security protocols. I was lenient, this is true, but in the end I paid a steep price for it. Just look at the destruction around us. The insurgents have left almost nothing of my home. The keeper spits at the last few words with particular bitterness. I saw the security report. Only keepers have access to the station's systems, but Theobald stayed at his side the entire time and could not have initiated the self-destruct protocols. Which means he did it before the report was filed, or maybe after, or... Fleek's stern face twists in disgust. You dare suspect me of what happened? The one who is going out of his way to preserve what little there is still left, by the God Emperor, you will keep these slanderous accusations to yourself. Enough lies, Fleek. I am certain you are the one behind this coup. Fleek nods wearily. I suppose it's time to remove my mask. Congratulations, you've got me. But did you really expect me to be sincere this entire time? To welcome you with open arms, ally of Tisiphone and her monsters? What the heck is Tisiphone? I keep on, like, learning about Tisiphone here, because I've done this multiple times, but, like, I still have no clue what Tisiphone is. Is Tisiphone a planet, or the accursed child who has tormented the navigator's house, Ocelia, for years? Don't make me laugh. You arrived to help her completely destroy our house, and I cannot let that happen. What are you babbling about? I know nothing of Tisiphone or monsters of any kind. You do not? Fleek hesitates for quite a while. In that case, accept my sincerest apologies for the deception in my earlier behavior. I had no intention of making an enemy of Von Valancius's heir, nor destroying the station that served as my home for many years. They left me no choice. You cannot even imagine what monster lurks in the upper chambers. Bro caved really fast. He really did. You cannot believe what monster lurks in the upper chambers. An evil, a plague, a pestilence on our bloodline that seeks to destroy House Ocelio from within. Theobald and his followers, just mindless fanatics serving this evil. Lady Cassia is the scion of a merciless tyrant. But it is not her relation to Tisiphone that is terrifying. Oh. I've just been skimming that. Tisiphone is the merciless tyrant, apparently. She is a monster whose powers drive servants insane in mere churns. A cursed child who can kill a navigator from the Ocelio bloodline with just a look. I alone managed to get close enough to her over the years. She lowered her guard, trusted me, and at long last I rid my house of the curse. This is the truth. So, she can just straight up kill navigators. Huh. I don't know, that does sound kind of useful. If your child agrees to become a navigator, I will gladly rid you of this burden. All navigators are abominable. Which one? What should I do here? Should I just attack him? Should I be like, you know, I'm willing to help you rid you of your child and then attack him? Because I don't like this guy. I do not like Fleek, mainly because his name is Fleek, and I don't like Fleek. I don't like the name Fleek. Attack? I've grown tired of your problems. Or it seems like yet another lie. Tell me. He's on Fleet. Oh no. Oh no. Not that. Anything but that. I don't know. This could be a dangerous fight. He does have more guards than I have. My Seneschal Argenta and Idaria? Yeah, another lie? Tell me, do you ever speak the truth? I mean, I could just lie to him and tell him that I'm going up to the child to get back up. What do you think? Just attack? Just attack the fleek? Hey. Lie to him. Alright. If your cursed child agrees to become my navigator, I will gladly rid you of this burden. You do not understand. This is... Fleek stops mid-sentence for a brief pause, then nods to himself. You are correct. This may work. It certainly is possible. You're going to need this charm. Fleek hands you a precious stone without a setting. A luminous surface remains cold to the touch, no matter how long you hold it in your hand. If you manage to press it against the monster's skin, whether by force or guile, the baneful influence of her powers will recede, and you will be able to take her and leave the station. Alright. Hi, boy cat. I have a cat on me. Boy cat, say hi to the camera. This guy. Hi, Mr. Man. Alright, go up. Hi. Oh my goodness. Hi. What is it? What's wrong? What is wrong with you? Sorry, I have a purring kitty on me. A pale figure with unnaturally long limbs, who covers her face with her hands, which are deformed with talon-like nails. Her deathly pale face is coated with blood that continually streams from her scarlet misted eyes. Her spiny gills, slightly hidden under her disheveled hair, twitch nervously at your approach. Only now do you notice the third eye on the young woman's forehead, hidden by a jeweled ornament. And when your eyes meet, you sense an overwhelming, soul-smothering power. Willpower test succeeded. You are enveloped in despair, and an invisible hand closes around your throat, cutting off your breath. Your limbs seem to fill with lead, and your heart hammers in your chest, and the desire to turn and flee from this room, from the station, almost gets the better of you. At the last moment, you master your emotions and your will pushes back against the illusion, forcing it to retreat. Idora emits something between a moan and a drawn-out whimper. Ow, 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 ow. As if my own little pals weren't bad enough. Now there's one barging into my head. Somebody stop her! Heresy. Argenta looks at the tall figure with a strange mixture of anger and sadness as she lowers her head and her white hair veils her face. Abelard, is this... What is this? What vile creature? Argenta, rid this world of this heresy. I'm just gonna use persuasion. Or should I use iconoclasm? What should I do here? Should I tell Abelard to do something? I've never seen what Abelard does. Should I bring the stone into contact with her? Should I coerce her? Should I persuade her, or should I iconoclast? Lady Cassia, I am here to help you. Please calm yourself. She wearily shakes her head and lets out a drawn-out sound, similar to both a sob and a howl of a small wounded animal. What is happening? Was someone calling my name? Are the betrayers already dead already? And you? Who are you? Venera von Valencius. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Unease settles over her features, and she nods cautiously. Pardon my manners, Veneria. I did not expect to make such a gracious acquaintance in such a time of sorrow for our house. What is this? I feel faint. Oop. There she goes. Okay. Well, I can't. Ah, thank goodness. That was getting hot. It's not food time, you beggars. The heavyset old man who has been kneeling nearby abruptly erupts into a low sob. His eyes, swollen from crying, dart desperately around the room as the veil of ignorance that has as though the veil of ignorance has just been ripped away. The child, Lady Cassia, where are you? Where are you, sacred child? Throne preserve us. Despite his venerable age, the navigator leaps up and rushes to the young woman's side. You, the old man, shifts, revealing his face to you, the threaded, jet black veins, and his bulging, milky eyes bear a striking resemblance to those of a dead fish. A sickly sweet scent assaults your nostrils, as if the old man's flesh is rotting inside his decaying husk. My eyes fail me, for they are unable to make you out as either enemy or ally. I am warning you, one wrong move and I will bring down the wrath of House Ocelio down upon your heads. Your head. Watch out, Lord Captain. This one's so deranged. It's just making the Whisper shriek like crazy. He might just open that eye of his. Threatening the head of a dynasty is a grave offense, esteemed whoever you are. Abelard presses his hand on his weapon. Abelard, calm down! At present, I am trying to determine what is happening on Iraq 5. I'll grant you do not look like space pirates who have come coveting the riches of a wrecked station, or like scoundrels in Fleek's service. So who are you? Veneria von Abelard, introduce us. Abelard, introduce us. Her ladyship, rogue trader Veneria von Valencius, heir to the great protectorate in the Coronis Expanse and bearer of the sacred warrant of free trade, extends her greetings. Another rogue trader in our corner of the galaxy? How interesting. Your kind always makes an appearance in desperate times, ready to cut deals that benefit one side alone. Given that you are not so far, you've not so far drawn your weapons, your intentions are probably peaceful, so House Ocelio will now ask a servant of you. Save the life of the child in exchange for future cooperation. Do not hurry to answer. Think on it. You can make yourself an ally or an enemy of our house today. You decide. What is the curse that's taken hold of everyone in this room? Curse? Theobald frowns. Curse? You do not understand the sacred gift of gift given to our child. When our child is sad, we all weep. When our child smiles, we all laugh giddily. And when the child wants blood, the world turns crimson. The child's will is the will of great Tisiphone, for she is the heir to House Orselio. And they call me dangerous with my witchcraft. Idara mutters under her breath. You look frightening. The fish eyes look at you with an unwavering dignity. You were not supposed to see me, or Fleek, or the Sacred Child. Navigators are highly paid for their loyal service to the Imperium. According to his will, no one would dare judge the guides of humanity, the chosen of the galactic sovereign himself. What do you ask of me? Hope glimmers in the navigator's milky eyes. Save the Sacred Child. Take her away from the station. I fear I do not have long left. A bluish rivulet trickles down the old man's chin, and he wipes the mutated blood briskly away with his sleeve. You glimpse a strange burns under his flesh, covering his flesh under his clothing. The slightest movement must be causing him unbearable pain. Save the child and deliver her safely to Regent Arantio, acting head of House Orselio. In the Cronus Expanse, rest assured, the reward will be worth your effort. I know we came for a navigator and all, but after everything we've seen, I've got some reservations about this girl. Argenta looks at Cassia with a painful furrow appears on her brow. Such a fragile thing, with such a heavy burden upon her shoulders. You are talking as though you expect to die here. Theobald shrugs indifferently. My service to the house is coming to an end. The wounds Fleek inflicted upon my flesh will never heal. I am dying. Praise the throne slowly enough to see that the child is taken care of. Alright, I believe I've made my decision. Is that so? Oop. Shit. Shoot! That is not what I wanted to do. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. Oh my god. Just wanted him to shut up. Okay, what should we do here? Should we just commit to the bet? Or should we reload? We're probably going to end up very far back, but I can just skip over a bunch of things. What do you think? Reload? Sorry, Fleek. That was an accident. No, I don't want to go to Torontos. Shoot. I really should have just killed Fleek. Okay, load game. Veneria. Oh my goodness, that was so scuffed. Yeah, this is gonna be horrible when I upload it, you know? Well, at least we're gonna have a lot of practice killing those people. Lord.
Rise to the
Okay.
top, or get left in the dust.
The whispers taught me how. White, bright, or color. And it's all riddled with horrible veins that carry the poison of fear and pain throughout its body. Who are you? Why are you crying?
If the witch is talking about the enemies of humanity who set upon this abode of noble navigators, then our weapons will soon dispel their wicked
Alright. That was so scuffed. I am... I feel like I'm going to be trapped in a loop here.
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
For the Emperor!
Oh. That's cool. Me there. Abelard, you're up here. And Daria, behind here.
God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. As the Emperor commands. Faith without deed eradicated.
Alright, we took out some of them. Wow, we took out... Ooh! I don't think you're supposed to take out your own men. I'm just gonna say that.
What of
Temporary setback.
Ooh. Idara, I should have you executed. Honestly. After that. I'm getting annoyed with her. Because in my personal game, she summoned a bloodletter on me. And knocked herself unconscious. In the middle of a boss fight. And now she's just knocked us all down, so we can't do anything.
Follow my lead. Break their morale. Follow my lead.
Doubt is for the... As the Emperor commands, I act. I will not. I'll do it.
Medicaid? Eradicated.
my prescience has failed me?
High momentum.
They who discern the future on the battlefield. Will do.
Decent enough.
What?
Oh my. Abelard,
Follow my lead.
I might have you kill her.
Follow my lead.
Well, I solved one guard.
It's as good as done.
Will do.
This is unacceptable. Rejoice
Can I get a
in
beat on her?
battle.
No, it doesn't look like it can.
I know what is to come.
No, I can't. Oh.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time.
Abelard can't even charge to get closer.
No! My ears are ringing.
I refuse.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. I refuse.
Cover me.
My place is at the fall.
Abelard. Please tell me you can reach her now. Yes.
Reduced to dust.
Okay.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
The creepy
Success
statue
is
that's
the
going to
only
come
outcome
alive
I
later
accept.
and murder someone. The data crypt.
Never doubt me. Pay attention.
Alright.
I always have a backup plan.
Alright. Looks like we go through here.
What a peculiar thing.
What's a peculiar thing? It's a trap!
I better myself through my service.
Damn warp. If we'd been in real space, I'd have.
Experience? Nothing matters more.
I'd have heard. Experience, nothing matters more. God damn. God damn that. Alright, where's our ripper gun? Okay.
Just as I planned. Let us not dawdle.
Over there.
Disarm that trap.
Duty prevails.
Go in here. Hold to skip.
I'll learn from this mistake.
Who Who thought that was a good idea?
That wasn't so difficult.
Keep your wits about
Just
you.
throwing people at it until it unlocks.
That's how it's done.
Cogitator. Awaken. Alright. Okay.
Rise to the top.
All right,
or
let's
get
go.
left in the dust.
I see. Oh. Oh wait. And I forgot this loop.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
The burden of failure is the most terrible punishment.
Okay.
Well, what do we have here? I always have a backup plan.
Oh my god, I cannot believe that I messed up like that, you know? That was such a stupid thing. Ugh. Yes, I'm going to beat myself up over it the entire time we're playing today. Alright, what was it? It was 41 for the mutated flesh. It was biogel and crystal. Okay, either is going to explode and I'm going to get nothing.
This
Ah,
could be
we
an
got something.
opportunity.
Yeah, the only one I wasn't certain about was the Diacrypt. 44041. Yeah, if you mess that up, it just explodes and you can't do it again.
What a peculiar thing. Is there money to be made?
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Hello? I forgot to
Always keep
remake the
my
control
options
rod.
open.
Compared to naval service, That was barely a challenge.
Whoops. This has been so scuffed. Okay.
Experience. Nothing matters more.
Rise to
Now
the
we
top
talk to Fleek.
or get left in the dust.
Fleek, you freak. Thank you. I did not understand a single word. This child mentioned, madman I thought. What are you babbling about? Okay. Let's go. Oh. Oh, hi. Hi, my little. Hi. Hello. Yes. Hello. Lady Cassia, we are here to save you. Got a kitty jump up on me. You, Ice Film, yada yada. Okay. You're talking as though you need help. There's a Medicaid. There is Medicaid deck. Is a Medicaid deck on my ship. But Theobald only shakes his head. No, I am the keeper of Urak 5, and I will perish along with my station. On that note, I have other matters to attend to. What happened between you and Fleek? Okay, this is where we won't mess up. Oh, imagine if I did the same thing again and just scuppered it again. Fleek is my wayward student. He came to Urek 5 as a callow youth. I personally mentored him and trusted him with the care of the child. He was like a son to me. But he proved to be just another traitor. He sought to steal our most precious treasure, the heir of our house, our sacred child, to revel in power with others like him, casting our house into the abyss, to pervert centuries-long traditions of our family. You can see the fruit of his villainy for yourself. He decided that he was not bound by his duties to the legacy of the great navigator Tisiphone Orselio, who led our house to prosperity for countless years. Foolish boy, the renegades clouded his mind. They sought to seize control of the dynasty before the sacred child could come of age and taken up the navigator's throne. So choose, whose side are you on? A murderous traitor or a lawful scion of a noble house? Theobald speaks these words softly, looking at the unconscious young woman with reverence. Fleek said the child is a monster, a legacy of tyranny that must be wiped out. And you believe him after everything he has done to the station? Fleek only wishes to dispose of the heir and take the reins in his blood-stained hands. Do not What are you doing? Sorry. Do not besmirch Lady Cassia's good name. The child is of the holiest and most innocent creature on the station. I believe I have made my decision. Okay. Fleek is a true monster. Let's do away with him together. Theobald dips his head in favor of the proposition. Allies are always welcome, even temporary ones. I will revive the child. Do not be alarmed. The power of House Ocelio's heir will help us destroy the enemies and shield us from Fleek Navigator forces. But you rest for a time before the battle. Oh my god, I was so scared I was gonna make the same mistake. Electra's feast was left untouched. Why is some random checking on her? Sarah's mouth opens in a prayer. You see the mutilated stub of his tongue. Okay.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Let's level up and fight Fleek. I got Steel Resolve. What should we do here? Undaunted officer. This is the initiative. Physical encouragement. No respite. Lead by. Let's do lasting impression. I've done that one before and I liked it. It basically allows half the bonus granted by voice of command to last until the end of combat. Let's up our fellowship. As for you, ooh, what should we do here? Reckless Strike, Sworn Enemy, Breakthrough, Forceful Strike, or Taunting Scream? I like Breakthrough because it gives us extra attacks. But Forceful Strike is also really useful because it will fling the person away, and flinging them Breakthrough. And flinging them away does extra damage to them. Sworn Enemy means that I can attack them better. Reckless Strike. I've never done Reckless Strike. The warrior's next melee attack gains and 8 damage and ignores any enemy who survives the attack. Who survives an attack enhanced by this ability will be able to attack the warrior in return, including creatures with a ranged weapon. Reckless Strike does seem fun. Means I could just hit really hard. I could do Reckless Strike and Forceful Strike later on when I gain another available ability. What do you think? You're still going for Breakthrough? Yeah, I'll go with Reckless Strike for now, and then Forceful Strike next time. Let's up our that. All right. Ideria. Let's go with Uncanny Sight because that one's useful. Should I go with Weapon Power or Perception? Willpower. Let's go with Willpower because I primarily, even though she's super dangerous to use her as a psyker. Let's go with Willpower for her. Oh, I love Controlled Shot. Like, Controlled Shot is just the best because it allows me to use area of attack rolls without hitting my allies. Let's see here. Activate the elevator. It is about time we repay those who betrayed our house. Come. Rogue traitor, you treasonous worm. I knew I should have killed you. That is enough, boy. You betrayed the child, our house, and Tisiphone herself. Surrender. I am the savior of our house, and I'm prepared to pay the ultimate price. Kill them. Fleek just shot.
You will beg for mercy, but I will grant none.
Fleek just killed.
To his enemies.
Just shot Theobald. You didn't even use a psyker power on him. Idaria there. Argenta. Let's place Argenta here. Fleek, where are you going, you coward? You absolute gormless buffoon. Ooh! You know
That
what?
is not my destiny. No! These ruby flashes are choking me.
Idara! Stop! Stop trying to kill everyone! My god. Idara's going to be the end of my run, I swear. I swear to God. Theobald, consider yourself executed.
Consider this a taste of what's to come.
Oh, I should have used Kill Order. Or Death Sentence.
On it. My gut tells me it's a bad idea.
Abelard,
At your beck and call.
swing around. Now Abelard. Approach the guy
Aesthetically sound of
and murder him, please.
it will be done. Indeed.
Endure. Just in case.
It will be done. One fewer time.
Ooh! One strike, one kill. Nice.
Stay vigilant.
I must not falter.
My faith strengthens me. Weapon at the ready.
They're trying to use my weapon against me. That is my weapon. It is trademarked to me. None of you can have it.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone. Faith without deeds is worthless. Guided by faith.
Make sure I'm not hitting anyone.
I'll do it.
my goodness. Idara, go sit in the corner. You've been a bad psyker.
But of course, what an unfortunate turn of fate. Follow my lead. Onward. Moving out.
Follow my lead.
Good job. The Medicaid's the only one who's pulling his weight here. The rest of you are not doing a good job.
My lead.
Theobald is also pulling his weight.
Emperor, give me strength. As duty demands.
Okay, Cassia. Cassia's doing an okay job.
We'll rule the stars themselves. I will do.
Hack
my
him to
duty.
pieces, Abelard.
At your beck and call. I took care of this one.
Alright, where? Did I just completely miss that guy? Whoops. Alright. Time for... There we go. Don't hit anyone. See, it's my weapon. I should be the only one allowed to use it.
Now, this is your burden, child. Survive. Return to the fold of your house as your destiny demands.
No! Don't leave me alone in this violet-brown haze!
Oh my god.
Wake up! Your mistress is giving you an order! Do you hear me?
He was a fine seer of the war. He fought for his mistress until the end.
Yeah, no. Enough's enough. I've had my fill of waterworks, thank you.
Forgive the urgency, but we should leave the station immediately. The systems are unstable and may fail at any moment.
But this is my home. What are you going to do to me?
Should I be nice and offer her protection, or should I try and be like, yeah, you work for me now? I'm gonna be nice. We're iconoclast. I'm gonna be nice.
I beg your pardon, but what about my
Oh, I
servants?
forgot to read it.
Your Act 5 is still full of people loyal to House Orselio.
All who can be saved will be given succor aboard my ship.
As a lady navigator of House Orselio, I accept your gracious offer of protection. Please, take me to your vessel. I can no longer bear the pain of this place.
Yay, we got a new party member. And all it cost us is frustration. Sort
Keep
of.
your wits about you.
I mean, not really. Oh, boy. Now comes the important question. Should we go straight to our planet, or should we go to the prison planetoid? The order really doesn't matter from here, because, like, It doesn't get worse on either location, depending on what we do. Straight to the planet? Alright, sounds like a plan. Hopefully we can get out of this system quickly enough. Yeah. Oh, we gotta do some conversations happening. Lord Captain, Lady Navigator, welcome aboard. The Sanctum Navis has been prepared for the communion ritual, but if the Lady Navigator wishes to rest in her quarters first, your heart starts beating furiously, your breaths come short and choppy, your fingertips tingle unpleasantly. You notice that Vigdis shivers slightly, and the crew glance around in puzzlement, searching for the source of this sudden wave of unease. Without even looking at the Voxmaster, Cassia waves her away. First, I wish to speak to the rogue trader. Speak with the rogue trader. Leave us. Of course. When you are ready for the ritual, please let me know. Cassia sweeps her pensive gaze over Vigdis, then lowering her lashes slightly, turns towards you. What did you wish to speak to me about? Before I begin the ritual, I wish to once again look into the eyes of the woman whose fame is so great it managed to penetrate the impregnable walls of Iraq 5 long before we ever met. It is truly you, Veneria, the person who the whole Expanse and Calexis sector are talking about, and now a rogue trader as well. After a few seconds of hesitation, Cassia lets out a small exhale and raises her pointed chin. I have not yet thanked you for saving me on the station. My thoughts were clouded, and with so much mournful ash, when Theobald's heart stopped, but you acted honorably and did not exploit me in my wretched position, and for that I am immeasurably grateful. I am also deeply grateful that you saved my servants, especially my valet, Uwe. Uwe? Served on the station for more than 5 years, much longer than any who preceded him. He knows how to properly attend to me during journeys through the Immaterium, and what to serve me for breakfast. His presence envelopes me in a cloak of amber. But now, Cassia throws back her shoulders. I am ready to begin to go to the Sanctum Navis and perform the sacred rite. I require brushes, canvas, and the best paints you have on board, but no red. Why do you refuse red paint? Cassia gestures toward the servant standing beside her. Uwe will give his blood for before the ritual, as always. I shall ensure the necessary supplies are delivered to the Sanctum Navis. You know, using Uwe as a paint source. My goodness. Cassia nods and thanks. I shall take my leave of you for the duration of the rite. I ask that you do not follow me, if you can survive with the gaze of my warp eye when it is open. There's a cat right behind me. You can't... I don't think you can see it. No, you can't see it. Lord Captain, I will oversee the Vox... see the open channel between the Lady Navigator and the bridge. And may the Emperor's light help us all. Whew. few brief moments of respite for my voice. The Voxcaster in the sanctum picks up the susurration of clothes, pious chanting, and metallic clinking of implants. Then the serene voice of the Lady Navigator breaks the silence, initiating communion rite. Come here, Uwe. The excellent ring of metal freed from its scabbard, the low sob of a servant, and the rhythmic drip of liquid on canvas. The faint whispers of a brush. Go. Footsteps hurrying away. I see violet vortexes lashing an ocean with a million flails. And umber shadows spinning over the surface in a fiery dance. A storm rising above the foaming waters. Amardes drowning in fog. The path from one end to another cannot be seen. And beyond the wall of glass, a daughter forsaken by her father yearns for her brother, and the sun's pale disk goes in tireless pursuit of her. No, of me. The frozen rays lie that spring is here. The light is deadened. The great ruler is gone. The Voxmaster recoils at Cassia's words and accidentally snaps one of the cogitators level. The panel behind her fingers emits sparks, and the Voxcaster falls silent. She quickly flips another series of switches and bows guiltily. My abject apologies for cutting off the broadcast, Lord Captain. I've never heard the warp speaking through a navigator before. The connection is restored now. It will not happen again. Ooh, should we punish her or just check on Cassia? Just check. Okay. Cassia, are you alright in there? Soul-shredding screams drown out the Vox transmission. The servants in the sanctum are howling, shrieking like wild beasts, moaning in pain. Their throats raw from the strain, and then sudden silence and a dull thud of bodies. Dropping proclaims their fate. It appears the servants were a part of... the Lady Navigator's right, as it was for her predecessor. I will arrange for their bodies to be removed from the sanctum after the ritual, or what's left of them. Rogue Trader, I fear I have unfortunate news. Endless blackness has spread across the canvas, dividing what should be whole in two. And my sight cannot glimpse the light of the Emperor clearly as before. I cannot turn around. My brush only draws me onward. The way is blocked. You hear a heavy exhale, rustling fabric, and a metallic clinking. By the Emperor's grace, the ritual was successful. Your vessel's temperament presented a challenge. Its cold steel grip did not allow me to breathe freely even for a second. It was as if the depths of the ship housed not only machine spirits, but something other. Now I will retreat to my chambers to recover my strength. Send for me if you have need of me. Lord Captain, congratulations on acquiring a navigator. Please spare me a few moments of your time, as there are several matters requiring your attention. First of all, I wish to report on the condition of the station Urek 5. Had you opted to begin your visit in the Reichard system with a different destination, the station could have become critically unstable. Fortunately, the decision to immediately visit the representatives of the Navis Nobilite bought us precious time. We can either focus our efforts on disassembling the the station and procuring technological shipments for our own, or attempt to save as many valuables as we can. Ooh! So, here's what we're going to get from either scrap containers 3 or 2 profit factor if we loot it. What do you think? I think profit factor is worth more, especially at this early stage. But what do you think? Loot it? Loot everything from jewelry to the last manuscript. As you command, Lord Captain. With your permission, I would also like to remind you we are still on the look for Agency Prime, and both the vessel and its machine spirits are in desperate need of an oversight of an experienced tech priest. This also means we are missing some crew, and much more importantly, we have yet to locate Hinrich von Kallax, the right hand of the Lord Inquisitor. Now we know for certain he was not at Uruk 5, so we should keep this in mind when making any future plans. Thank you, Vitus. This will be all for now. As it pleases you, Lord Captain. Oh, boy. Lord Captain, there is some commotion on the officer's deck. The Lady Navigator has left her quarters and is currently in the ward room, where uninitiated crew members are shunning her in terror. Perhaps you should find out what has brought Cassia to the deck.
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance.
The Lady Navigator is engrossed in pursuing the dusty tomes, which appear to have been neglected by the other officers, be it because of sloth or dullness of mind. Wow, I am mean to them. When you walk closer, Cassia looks up at you and starts and hides the weather book behind her back. It pleases me to see that you are adjusting to life aboard the ship.
Compared to Uruk 5, your ship is a boundless world of unfamiliar hues. And yet, the abundance of bright colors can at times be wearisome on the eyes. The bridge and the decks are so clamorous. In my search for a place of quiet, I was fortunate to come upon this islet of serenity filled with rare tomes and practically devoid of color.
The events on Uruk 5 must have shaken you greatly. Are you well?
One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orselio, Lord Captain. Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders, but it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you.
Your only attendant is your valet from Uruk 5. Do my service not measure up to your standards?
No, it is not that at all, Lord Captain. It is just that Uwe is quite capable of carrying out his duties by himself. He is well accustomed to my whims and preferences.
Perception check. Cassia cringes so slightly and adjusts the adornment on her forehead, then awkwardly hides her clawed fingers in the folds of her clothes. The unnatural appearance of navigators often becomes gossip among lowly servants and officers alike. It is unsurprising that Cassia prefers the company of one who is used to how she looks. I hope you have had ample time to calm yourself and your powers.
There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to others. and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis nobility.
Wow, okay.
But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior and your question just now insulting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm questioning whether you're safe right now. Pointed the book in Cassia's hand. I see you are fond of reading.
Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves, and I must say, it has caught my eye. Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful and enrapturing. Urak 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course. Although most of the works within had to do with scholarly
I'm gonna
disciplines
finish
of some sort
talking
or
to
another.
her, and then I'm
Only
going
in
to
my
take a quick
sparse
break
moments of
to
respite
feed my
was I
cats.
allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works.
Cassia gently brushes dust off the cover with her thin, clawed hand, eyes filled with longing after reminiscing about her lost home.
Lord Captain, would you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying. You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I. I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself.
You have nothing to apologize for. Human emotions are natural. Be they good or bad, it is just as natural to share them with others.
Please forgive me.
This is coming from an
I cannot
Arbides, I
understand
will remind
myself
you.
right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station, of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand.
His name was Felek?
They were merely the keepers of Urak 5. So, why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here?
His name wasn't Fleek. What? She places her hand on her chest, on her breastplate.
At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last, I have set foot outside my familiar walls and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but my delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing.
I understand what you're going through. My own life was turned upside down not too long ago.
Indeed. I did not know.
Yeah, he did. That was his worst crime. The betrayal, the backstabbing, the making me reload. Those are all minor crimes.
My word. When I found this place, it was so full of officers. Why did they all leave?
I do not tolerate idlers on my ship, and my officers know it well.
Then, I must take my leave as well. I am due to inspect the Sanctum Navis after the communion ritual and prepare the chamber for the upcoming warp jump. Thank you for your company.
Okay. Yeah, Felek? What a boring name. Alright, we're going to take a quick little break so that I can feed my kitties, so that they can stop meowing at me. Alright, I'm back. Oh, my internet's going down. Hopefully that doesn't become a problem. Okay. Looks like we're back. Let me, I'll just continue for right now, and if it gets too bad, let me know, okay? Alrighty. Because my internet is dropping real bad, like every 5 seconds. Which means I'm losing like a ton of frames. Actually, you know what? I'll be right back again. I'm gonna make a phone call to my family and see if they're doing something on the internet. Alright, sorry about that again. Yeah, doesn't look like... I don't think they're doing anything that would cause a problem with my internet. But like, I went from like 0.1% of frames dropped to 0.7 in the matter of like 5 minutes. So I'm like, ooh, something bad. Permission to report. Lord Captain, members of the sacred cult operating on board the ship have requested an audience. They wish to present gifts and introduce themselves to their new captain. What sacred cult? They call themselves the Bloodspun Web. The cult defends the flagship from both internal and external threats. Lady Theodora held them in high regard and looked favorably upon their activity. I am ready to receive them. I will commence with preparations at once, Lord Captain. Oh boy. Yes. These guys are really fun to be introduced this way. Alright. Time for some dialogue. I do not have to read for a little bit. Those on the deck watch in awe as the final figure. They have no respect for the carpet. Yeah, they have absolutely no respect for the carpet, and it's gonna get worse. As the final figure moves gracefully into a ceremonial pose, some of the officers whisper in excitement while others murmur prayers to God Emperor.
The Undying Emperor commanded us to spin a web of blood around his children, and we obeyed. We obey still.
The cultists repeat the words with mournful whisper, we obey still.
Domin von Valancius, death has whispered your name. We disown Domin Theodora. We renounce our oath to her.
She pulls out a sinister curved blade, and similar weapons suddenly appear in the hands of her motionless companions.
And now we give the gift of our blood to you. It is the gift of death. Death has whispered your name. The followers of the tenets of the web swear fealty to their new overlord and offer proof of their devotion. We give you a blade, the silent verdict. The Undying One has chosen you to wield this instrument of death. We give you one of our own, Kibella. She will be your shield and shadow. And we give you the blood of these traitors. The tenets of the web will purify their souls.
You've heard many stories about death cults, such as this one. These devoted holy assassins of the Imperium have churned death into a form of worship of the Emperor. They are exemplary slayers, invisible executioners, and the scourge of traitors, heretics, and fallen souls. Many righteous people honor them as votaires, while others see them as fearsome rituals as frenzied spectacles touched by madness. Examine the cultists. The cultists are all void-born. Their lithe, sinewy bodies are clad in light armor, which allows them to move with an acrobat's nimble grace and strike with swift surety. Their red and black vestments are adorned with sharp spikes and ritual jewelry. Where time and training have worn out their garments threadbare, you can still make out the patterns of bleeding lacerations. Examine the captives. The prisoners cower beneath the weight of your gaze. Blood drips down their tear-stained faces. Of the captured officers, technomats, and workers. A word is carved into each of their foreheads with a meticulous precision, traitor, heretic, apostate, renegade. The cuts have been diligently and regularly reopened to prevent healing.
These renegades committed treachery against their domin. Their lips once praised the name of Kunrad Voigtveer, but it is your name they will whisper as they cross over to the other side.
Interesting. So a death cult watches over my crew. They who honor the Emperor through killing, who devote their every deed to serving him. Sacred executioners.
The Domin has discerned our essence. This is a great honor for the blood-spun web. We have woven the bays of this ship together with the threads of our faith for many years. We keep the greatest relic, his tarot, through which he sends us his blessed revelations. We obey the whispers of the Undying One. This is our service to him. This is our service to you.
How interesting. Devout assassins who believe themselves to be instruments of a higher power.
I nearly forgot that I was demon possessed.
And cannot tell the difference between bloodthirst and piety. They follow their faith blindly, unaware of how closely they tread to corruption and depravity. Look at them. They stand on the edge of a precipice. The smallest push will send them plummeting into the abyss. You could be their downfall. All you have to do is push.
Wow. I nearly forgot that I was demon possessed. That seemed like an important thing not to forget. What exactly does the cult of the Bloodspun Web do?
The tenets of the web teach us to read the threads of the future and understand the hearts of others. When a soul is filled with the poison of corruption, we know its time has come. We bring liberation. 3 strikes, 3 rebukes, 1 blade. This is how we serve the Undying One. This is how we serve you and your flagship. But there are others, the virtuous martyrs who contravene his design without realizing it. Those who have come too close to faltering or committing an apostasy, but have not erred yet. We present such souls to the Undying One.
You have my blessing. May your blades bring swift death to the Emperor's enemies. I'm going to say that because, you know, I have a fear of these people.
They are the wisdom of the tenets and the benediction of our duty.
Tell me about yourself, Cabela. Are you the leader of the Bloodspun Web, or its herald, or its servant?
I am the second spinner of the Bloodspun Web. The honor of this title is bestowed only upon those who have ushered more souls than... It is shameful to speak of one's own deeds. I'm here to become your shadow, not to make boasts. So you may offer the souls of these traitors as a gift to him. You have the authority to order their execution. Their blood will bind us together through him. For the God Emperor, the Undying One, is death itself. The Undying One is duty itself. Give the order, Domin. Let a spinner of the Bloodspun Web undergo the test of a sacred trial.
The echoes of her words form beneath their bone masks. Undergo the test. Give the traitors weapons. It is time for Cabela to prove herself.
A dagger that has not sliced through sinew is nothing more than a toy. Let the final dance begin.
Alright. Time to see what Cabela can do.
Your Emperor won't save you!
I will set them free.
The angel's blessing awaits!
Death comes in silence, as honor ordains, as the tenets demand. Death is a blessing, as honor ordains. Killing brings me no pleasure. I shall not fail. The other side awaits. This goes against the tenets. As honor killing brings me no pleasure.
I was not expecting it to have that range. Okay.
Cry, flee, pray. You cannot alter your fate.
You cannot
The shadows
stop
will
the
see it
angel's
done.
faithful!
Trust me. Let your soul come. The other side awaits. As honor ordains, is a blessing. Trust me. The shadows will see.
Yeah, as I said, it's gonna get much worse.
The angel will reward us!
I shall not fail. Trust me.
The carpet! Avalon! Have the servants clean the carpet. I cut to... Sorry. A cut to the heart, a cut to the throat, a cut to the stomach. These wounds have been inflicted according to his pleasure. The blood of apostates will wash away the stains of their treachery, so their souls may prostrate themselves before the Undying One's throne and beg his forgiveness. Cabela wipes the blood away from her blade in one swift movement. I have acted with reverence and shown proof of my loyalty. Will you accept me, Domin Veneria? Will you take me as your shield and shadow? Your ladyship, the spinners of the blood-spun web were watching, tracking, and killing Von Valencia's enemies long before the warrant of free trade passed to Lady Theodora. However, their blade has also been known to cut short the lives of highly upstanding persons. The High Factorum swallows nervously and casting a fleeting glance at Cabela. But I certainly do not in any way condemn the deeds of the deeply esteemed cult. I am sure they have had good reason. A stern-looking woman clears her throat. The cultists are the scourge of sedition. They bring the unrighteous to ruin. The enforcers respect the blood-spun web, for we share a common goal: to bring his light and his harsh judgment to the darkest depths of this ship. Scourge of sedition or not, folks are afraid of them for a reason. A couple of watches ago, the spinners took a train driver to pieces. Wait, we have a train? For some kind of ritual. I don't know what old Malak did to deserve that privilege, though. And who's going to feed his family now? Enrique takes a drag from his low stick, exhaling the thick smoke through his clenched teeth. But that's a lower decker problem. What matters is the blood-spun web serves you faithfully, Lord Captain. A plump old man in rich robes of a confessor adds, my predecessor's predecessor once delivered a sermon about how the spinners saved the vessel from the servants of the archenemy. The blood-spun web paid the price in a blood of river, in blood, a river of scarlet that flooded the decks from the bridge to the bilge. They became the blood of the flagship, the pulse in its veins, the beat of its heart. Their sacrifice earned them great favor of House von Valancius. Confessor, tell me about the spinner's great sacrifice. The vessel was beset by famine and pestilence during a long warp jump. The flagship wandered uncharted paths in the Immaterium for 20 cycles straight. Servants of the archenemy used the despairing hearts of the crew to infiltrate the ship, and death followed. The hungry became the hunted, and the famished became a feast. And the exhausted crew was too weak and emaciated to resist the invaders. But then the spinners emerged from the depths. They stood alone against hundreds of foes, yet they did not falter. They did not sleep or rest as their blade tip dance brought death. Though many spinners fell, the blood-spun web held strong until the flagship was left the turmoil of the warp. I want to hear what my retinue thinks. I have heard through only a distance the prayers of the spinners offer to him. I have seen how their deeds fill the people's hearts with confidence in the inevitability of his wrath. The blood-spun web's loyalty to the Emperor is without question, as is their willingness to lay down their lives to fight the archenemy. Although Lady Theodora never granted the cult an audience or brought a spinner into her retinue, she respected the blood-spun web and approved of its mission. It is strange. Their shadowy forms are swathed in darkness, yet I see radiant light burns within them like scarlet flame. I think it is a good sign. It is rare to see anyone filled with such light, even among servants of the faith. You will be my shadow, Cabela. Cabela's movements are slow, almost rhythmic. As she removes her ceremonial mask, dark shadows cover her eyes. Her eyes accentuate the deathly pallor of her skin, which is covered in ritual scars. Henceforth, I am your shadow, Damen Venera von Valancius, an instrument of death, placed in your hand by the Undying One, for it was ordained by his terror force, and so his terror forspoke. The young woman bows her head once more. I also come bearing an invitation from the vizier of the blood-spun web. He wishes you to know that the doors to the Undying One's temples are open to you. Are you suggesting the Lord Captain should go down into the depths of her flagships to search for this temple? With all due respect, the lower decks offer servants and crew. They are not a fitting place for her ladyship. Where is your temple located? I am not permitted to say. If you wish to find the temple, you must walk the path of Saint Irene, the matriarch spider. Hers was the thread that would become the blood-spun web. Her path began deep in the flagship, in the dark tunnels of the freight line, and that is where yours must begin as well. This journey will bring you closer to the thread of the web, closer to the Undying One, closer to understanding death. Perhaps one day I will grant you that favor. I have heard the whispers of the Undying One. He awaits you. He calls to you. Your time will come. The cultists retreat into the shadow. As Cabela sheathes her ceremonial dagger, your blade awaits direction down Venera. We will speak again when the time is right. Yeah, they have no respect for the carpet at all, but she is a very useful assassin. Oh my god. I mean, yeah, they're really cool. Rykard Minoris. Up, Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. Vigdis pauses as if listening to something. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers is demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Western's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We're going to get to make the judgment on whether or not the everyday sounds of the bridge are disrupted by voices raised in anger. Ablad's voice, the loudest of all. This is not the conduct of an officer. These antics are of a high-born brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. The young woman standing before Avalad strives with all her might not to quail under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters, but manages to look him in the eye and say, I apologize, sir, but I must speak with the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant, you may address the Lord Captain, not least because you've already seen fit to disturb her. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence toward a higher-ranking officer will be logged in your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avarilia Vent, requesting permission to speak. Vent falls silent as rashly. On a matter of extreme importance and urgency. You may speak, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having two officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I'm sorry, Lord Captain, but I thought with that drastic times call for drastic measures. Vent exclaims hotly. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks in order to crush a workers' strike by any means necessary. But I am convinced that the step is unwarranted, and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Vent is almost trembling with tension as she delivers her speech, her face extremely pale. Abelard is in no hurry to intervene, lets out a skeptical huff and glances at Surback, who is standing not far from him, but maintains a stony expression. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Wesserin. and intervene on what's happening on the lower decks. Because very soon we will have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Vent reels off the last words as though she knows them by heart. She's clearly been preparing to say them for some time. When she's finished, she casts an anxious glance at Abelard and then at you. There is an insurrection aboard in the making aboard my ship, and no one has informed me. I would not deem it a problem worthy of the rogue trader's attention. The lower decks, as it so happens, are in revolt. 30 years ago, we had a revolutionary leader ride up who dared to establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order. But even 8 years later, we were still battling rumors that the hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once more. Abelard scoffs. Needless to say, the rumors were baseless. As for the current situation, we have sufficient enforcers to deal with it. But on this ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo of 100 bolters. I'm sure if the rogue trader addresses the malcontents directly, she can quell the unrest. I dread to think what problem you'll disturb the rogue trader with next. Perhaps you'll ask the Lord Captain to break up brawls in the mess room. I have already given you the means to resolve the problem. You simply need to use them. If I may, your ladyship, sending a hit squad to crush a rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. I mean, to be fair, it is solving the problem. There can't be a rebellion if all the rebels are dead. How did this all start? How did all this start? The situation could boil over at any moment, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist's amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported up the chain immediately, arranged for the cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search brought up tensions between the officers and the deck workers to a head. Where does Seneschal Wesserin come into all of this? I shall explain. Abelard intones grimly. I beg you to hurry, time is running out. I will not hurry, since my competence is under scrutiny. I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one pillar of the system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that I have always handled internal problems myself. So, of course, when I received information about cultists hiding among the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valentius will find refuge on her ship. You were far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Wesserin. In arrests, interrogations, mass punishment for the entire sector, it has driven people to the brink, Vince says bitterly. Now there's a strike on the lower decks in Depot 4. To be precise, 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was the order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. Abelard, what do you have to say to all of this? Or what is Depot 4? Depot 4 is one of the poorest sectors on the lower decks. It is home to clans of general laborers. They are not as valuable as the ship as the families who have served specialized systems for generation. They are easily replaceable. They are an easily replaceable resource, and one which is now, besides more besides, giving succor to cultists and minions of the archenemy. Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but at worst that means drunken brawls, drunken fights, and illegal rock brewing. Not booing. They aren't booing the illegal rock gut. We have handled all the workers in Depot 4 in the past. We would have done so again if the crackdown hadn't been so harsh. Another important point to bear in mind is the problem is not limited to this sector. It is located in one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happens there has a knock-on effect on all the neighboring sectors. Master at Arms, the ship's enforcers report to you, and yet you seem hesitant to provide your own perspective. Captain, unlike Lieutenant Vent, I respect the chain of command and realize it is not within my right to challenge my superiors. Sobek bows her head in Abelard's direction. However, a moment later, a serpentine smile appears on her lips. That being said, while I entirely share Master Western's opinion on the fate Abelard Department 4 deserves, I must note this insubordination is in direct consequence of practices he himself has introduced. Mr. Sobek, I see you have decided to follow the lieutenant's example after all. Such behavior does you no credit. Sobek, explain yourself. The ship's regulations state that the Master at Arms is responsible for resolving all matters related to the ship's enforcers, and yet it is no secret that the Seneschal has the tendency to show partiality to enforcers and officers whom he has deemed particularly promising, and at times given permission to approach him for tutelage. I cannot deny Master Western's experience and insight. The Seneschal has a record of fostering students who have achieved much and demonstrably impeccable performances. However, extending such patronage over the heads of their immediate superior encourages disregard for the hierarchy among your ladyship's servants. Today, an enforcer goes to the Seneschal to report an order from the Master at Arms that happens to disagree with. Tomorrow, they will go to the Lord Captain to object to the Seneschal's order. I notice a pattern in these actions. I feel like, that is a fair thing to say. Like, it's fair, but I don't necessarily agree with it. I have run out of water. Abelard, do you wish to respond? Mr. Sobek, can you recall an occasion where I would encourage an officer to disobey their superior, or one where I would overrule their order, or show favoritism to one who merited none? None, Seneschal. For there have been no such cases in the entire time I have served aboard the ship. If anyone were to claim otherwise, I would have them pay for insulting your honor with blood. Your conduct in this regard have always been spotless. Nevertheless, given your eminent position, to show a simple show of attention on your part is enough to erode the propriety of junior officers and inflate their sense of self-importance and undermine discipline. That you distinguish some of them and know them by name is tantamount to walking around the officer's deck handing out gifts to officers who have caught your eye. It feels though you have set apart with ambition and audacity. Makes them stand out among the rest. Enforcers are meant to be faceless servants, fighters ready to die, their fate entrusted to their command, to their commander and no one else. That is the sole foundation of order. Oh boy. Sounds like the Imperial Guard got in here. Lieutenant Vint, would you say the Seneschal has singled you out from your peers in any way? Lord Captain, I swear that Seneschal Western has never granted me any privileges, never once advocated for me, nor facilitated my promotions. Although he is the man who convinced me to become an officer in the first place, he offered me an extensive guidance in my service, for which I am grateful to him. And while my fellows receive such attention, while not all my fellows receive such attention, I know that at least a dozen fine officers whom the Seneschal keeps in his sights and ensure that they continue to strive to prepare new generations of the dynasty's servants to instruct them, to separate those from potential from those who have exhausted it. That is my duty as a Seneschal. This ship has bays worth of pilots, enforcers, officers, technicians, and stewards, and whom I have raised personally. By the throne, every third person standing on the bridge right now was my student at one point. I see. Evidently, my officers are anything but shining examples of unity and adherence today, and I only have myself to blame, I suppose. Allard, what do you have to say to all this? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interests of your protectorate and your personal safety. I wish to confirm that the rectitude of my action. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objection. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower decks and stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way you will stop the uprising before it begins. What should we do here? Should we just... Well, that's a problem. That's a real problem. Hello, hello. Can anyone hear me? Oh boy. Alright, it seems to be stabilizing again. It completely crashed there for a couple seconds. The internet did. So, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Yeah. Welcome back. You missed the internet completely dying on me. For a second there. I jumped up from 0.7% to 2.2% in dropped frames. That's how bad it was. But, how should we handle this potential mutiny on my deck, on my crew, on my ship? Should we go down there? Should we just leave it up to the Seneschal? What should we say? Oh. The internet just completely dropped you? Or, like, kill them all? Alright, let's go down to the deck and kill them all personally. I'm certain the Seneschal was acting within his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decision for myself. Throne preserve you, Lord Captain. I thank you for your support. Abelard grits his teeth slightly, an enterprising boarding on the sophomoronic, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Lord Captain, I regret that the enforcers were unable to handle the situation which led to your and the Seneschal's involvement. I consider it my duty to go to depot for myself and see to it that the expedient resolution of this incident. Alright, Cassia and Cabela shall accompany me, naturally. Let's rank up Cabela. Just a flesh wound. Toughness. Acrobatic artistry. Medicaid. Perception. Mind over matter. Alright, let's see here. Let's go with Steel Resolve as well for her. Give her some willpower. There we go. Let's flip over to our inventory and see. Alright. We are down here. Abelard walks forward. Hey, it's Western. Take that, scum. Look who it is. This is all his fault. All of it. Wow. Abelard reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startlingly human gesture. And a telling one, a rare moment where he allows his age and weariness to show through his armor-like veneer of self-assurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. Let's keep moving. We need to get to the bottom of this.
I still do not see our purpose in coming here.
Relax, old man.
The sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's bay. Lieutenant Arvelia Vent of the ship's enforcers is barring the path of her superior, Master-at-Arms Jocasta Surbak, who is clad in armor. Judging by their expressions, the tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached a boiling point. Lieutenant Vent, my patience is wearing thin. I have given you an order, now get out of my way. I cannot comply with that order, ma'am. Lieutenant Vent looks shaken, but there is fire in her eyes. This is my deck and my sector. So long as this area remains under the Lord Captain's special oversight, no action can be taken without my express permission. There's only 3 people who are authorized to make me stand down. First off, the first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. Wow. So not all of my lessons fall on deaf ears. Abelard mutters in crabby approval, but he does not clarify whether he meant Vint or Surback looming over her, or both. Your ladyship, noticing you, the two officers snap to attention and salute, their subordinates following suit a moment later. What is the situation? Your ladyship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. Under control, Lieutenant. I came here to lead an investigation unit. And what do I see? The rabble is on the verge of mutiny, and there's nothing to investigate. This simply calls for immediate repressions and firing squads. And you, Vint, are a step away from facing charges yourself. We encountered locals on our way here. Their conduct was outrageous. They even tried to throw things at us. Vint's gaze is full of worry and regret. The people are getting desperate, clearly. They saw the assault unit and they are deciding they have nothing less to lose. I mean, I apologize, Lord Captain. This is outrageous that the people simply didn't recognize you. It wouldn't have occurred otherwise. We will deal with them once the situation is resolved. I want to speak to the strikers. Ablad's mouth twists, but he restrains himself and says nothing. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Hope gleams in Lieutenant Vint's eyes. Well, the Lex Imperialis clearly states that striking is illegal. So, time to get to work. Clearing out these strikers. Dozens of eyes stare at you apprehensively. The people before you are typical inhabitants of lower decks. They take their simple clothing and crude weapons and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. Lex Imperialis states that mutants are also abhorrent and must be eliminated. A whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear and astonishment and joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you've come to us. We were attacked on our way here. How do you explain that? Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limits and are now lashing out. As if we don't know why the top deck units are being sent down here, like that one that the lieutenant won't let pass. Our clans are all inside the bay. That's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure some people who've just had enough were getting it from all sides. The soldiers encircled the ones who've risen up. The death squads just arrived, and it's no wonder folks are lashing out. Awareness, their words seem sincere to you. Their body language and glances traded between them reveal that the news of the attack has shocked them. Tell me what was troubling you. Why are you striking? Striking? That's news to us, your ladyship, says a tall man in worker's garb. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet. The old woman snaps the old woman, who turns her hostile gaze to you. Here's the deal, your ladyship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to the whole bay for a week at a time. We get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. The old woman spits on the floor and rubs out rubs out the spittle with the toe of a worn-out shoe. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vint is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day. He who had a mother from the lower decks, and who grew up amidship, and has no fellow feelings toward us. A grim man with a scarred face, throws up his arms. Your ladyship, we are no villains here. We're honest workers. Your servants. We've plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. The prosecution started apropos of nothing you say. I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet, and there are heretics hiding in here. A cultist amulet? What's that? Oh, that G-Jaw they found on the dead drunkard. If it's something evil or forbidden, we didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not. And if there were, we'd be the first to report them. And as for the amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when the fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies, the boots they came back with. Nobody has ever tread these decks in boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me the cultists have better commanders than us. Oh, that is direct heresy. That is, like, direct heresy. Oh yeah, those boots are really fine. Were fine. And there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor, and we're all working to bow our heads down before... And when we're working, we bow our heads down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motors. The same way our grandfathers was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your ladyship, we are people of faith. Naive children. Weren't you taught from an early age the danger of the arch enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that unfamiliar objects could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was so long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was after I just had my third little one. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from heretics? The Holy Father who is not there, or the scavengers who brought the evil down upon themselves and himself and his neighbors? Abelard, do you have anything you wish to add? I authorized the use of all means necessary to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in this sector. Specific steps are taken by officers were not reported to me. Abelard frowns, clearly disgruntled at having to explain himself in the workers' presence. Nevertheless, I am certain their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are enemies and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. Sobek, was it really necessary to torture these people with cold? The rabble only understands one language, Lord Captain. that of violence. As per regulations, should the laborers persist in their unwillingness to cooperate, the next step is limiting air supply and cutting off water, which is almost certain to restore order. The peasants can grumble all they want, but in the end, they are the source of their own misery. All they have to do is bow their heads and fall in line, and the need for punitive measures will disappear. What changes do you want? Would you look at that? The exalted Lord Captain is asking us bilge rats what we want. Well, here's what we want. We want the right terrain. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers and quit turning off the heat. And stop battering everyone that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if these cultists show their face. I've been a leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of some club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. You've gone too far, old Nan. They'll never let the maggots on the lower deck live without enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day is out, we'll have somebody shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop her hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultist's body, and we'll talk to them one lower decker to another. And if there's any more of them downed amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. Speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures, I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns her back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared speak out. The tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth as if planning to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. Spreading anarchy on the ship. Alright, let me see. I lose one profit factor. No, not happening. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons into the hands of untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands, and we will consider the rest. The tall worker they call Rivet shrugs and casts a sidelong glance at the old woman. Old Nan, listen. The Lord Captain herself came down to us and is offering concessions. And I don't know a single person in the whole Depot 4 who ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down. Now is not the time to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old Nan. There are 3 clans in Depot 4. The 3 clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made our minds up. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers and give us weapons. We don't need any of that. The old woman hisses in dissatisfaction. You two are ganging up on me, is that it? So brave. You are against an old woman. Fine, I'll shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against 2 clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's great. Just fantastic. Lord Captain, no, we are all agreed. You fail to convince me of your trustworthiness. This unrest ends now. Everyone who is involved will be eliminated. No, Lord Captain, I swear loyalty to you. I beg you, have mercy. The old woman spits in your face. Curse you. Surback gives the signal and is first to raise her weapon. Yes, Lord Captain. No, don't do it, Vent. Suddenly, Lieutenant Vint stands in the executioner's path once again. Her face resembles a wax mask. Her eyes are wide with fear, but her lips are clamped into a firm line. If you want to mow down everyone in Depot 4, you can start with me. Vint, stop. This is treason. Sorry, I've let everyone down. It's not clear who her words refer to. Ablot, her comrades, or the striking workers who are now doomed to die. Vint reaches forward and grabs the barrel of a weapon aimed at the crowd. Ooh.
I'll make an example out of
So
you.
I'm going to just stand back and let my enforcers do the work. I want to see if they can actually win this fight. I imagine they can. For some reason, I can't move Bella back.
Follow my lead. To the heretic.
Oh, you just shot your friend.
Weather the storm. Done.
I will leave footprints of scarlet.
Look out.
Emperor, protect me.
I must not falter.
Well, they're doing a decent job at it.
I can handle this.
If it wasn't for them shooting their own friends in the back.
I can't stand it.
Now. For the Imperium!
Stay vigilant.
Emperor, protect me.
Well, there's one guard down.
Don't touch me. Can I?
Oh my goodness.
No.
Okay, we might have to get involved because they're throwing grenades.
Emperor, protect me. Look out.
Specifically at us.
There is only death, yours or mine.
Step aside. The navigator is
I just
coming.
wanted to see if my men can handle themselves. And you shot Jocasta. And took her out of the fight. You've killed another of your own friends.
There is movement in the Empyrean. I feel nothing, fear nothing.
I'll do what it takes.
Oh, goodness. This is so... Do I really have to get involved? Oh, of course.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. My faith strengthens me.
Ah, Jocasta's back.
Let us not dawdle.
My warp sight reveals something.
Just as he ordained.
That nearly was... Okay, so I'm almost in agreement with Abelard. Yeah, rule of
to the
law and all
top,
that, but like
Get left
that
in the
nearly
dust.
resulted in that resulted in most of the enforcers' deaths, and like one guy nearly won the battle.
Is there money to be made? Well, what do we have here?
Just as I was taught.
All right, there we go. Oh boy, I'm gonna get lectured. Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and address your other companions, saying, "I have urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment." Abelard looks at you with the last vestiges of restraint vanish. "Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You made a harsh decision, but a necessary one. But before that, you danced to the tune of a panicking junior officer, put your own life in unnecessary risk in the midst of a potential uprising, and your actions triggered everything that followed. If you hadn't given Lieutenant Vint false hope and then snatched it away again, she wouldn't have snapped. You have no business going anywhere near the lower decks." That's where you're wrong. I'm going back to the lower decks later. Later, Abelard. To see the death cults. Is this how you see your future at the helm of the Von Valencius Protectorate? There's some truth to your criticism. I should say so. Abelard heaves a sigh, but he visibly relaxes. You simply need to trust me. I would have handled the situation myself, had you not decided to intervene. Abelard says, irrescalably, "Remember Lord Captain Theodora. Do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers, while she dedicated herself to grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. I'd be only too willing to trust my seneschal and not fill my head with such matters, but the situation had spiraled out of your control, Abelard." Abelard's face relaxed slightly. "You are right. At least as far as junior officers making complaints directly to you." And Abelard strains to attention. "I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself." Abelard speaks slowly, the words not coming easily to him. The prosperity of the Von Valencia's protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was a momentous decision in my life. I did it because I saw Lord Captain Theodora's deeds as the sign of true greatness. The rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left everything I had known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers and embarked on an incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods of time to distant frontiers, scouting voyages. An advancement of the entire protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, but without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I'm not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find you footing as quickly as possible, and to do that, I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot simply be deemed excess to requirement. The prosperity of the Von Valencia's protectorate is just as important to me. You are the only person who has a comprehensive knowledge of how things are run on this ship. I think in the future I will follow your recommendations. Avalette dips his head in a sign of assent. The shadows of incredible strain, which are evident had been wearing on him for some time, finally lifts from his face. I'm glad you see the value in the foundations laid down by your illustrious predecessor. Why fix what isn't broken? As for me, I shall endeavor not to cause you any further consternation, Lord Captain. And now, please let us leave the lower deck. If the rogue trader desires to stretch her legs, there are far more suitable places.
I always keep my options open.
Alright, we leveled up again. Yay! And we murdered a bunch of people. Yay! Well, more accurately, we watched someone else do all the murdering. Which nearly ended in disaster. Ooh. So I can just make them rearrange themselves. For one round, the arbitrator and their allies are gain immunity to prone, stunned, immobilized, and cannot attack effects, as well as all types of force movements. Enemies must pass a willpower resistance test within a with a -6 penalty or become immobilized until the arbitrator's next turn. Recover from... I'm gonna give them recovery. Alright, RBD's physical training. Armor piercing. I'm gonna take spare magazine because that will be useful because we're shotgunning. We're going shotgunning. I'm going to give Abelard bolter proficiency because I think it will be funny to have him have a bolter, have him have a bolt pistol. We'll give Daria sensory deprivation and awareness. You will give... We'll give you some more ballistic skill. Shield of Faith. Held in my gaze. And pass unscathed. Let's go with agility. Alright. Oh boy. Alright, let's go for the starport. Fancy shuttle. That's a really fancy shuttle. The blue and gold look nice. And like pearl white. Hell yeah. The starport greets you with the din of ordnance, and the smell of explosives tickles your nostrils. It is difficult to tell through the smoke who is firing upon whom. Halt, weapons on the ground or I'm firing. A man in a torn, dirty uniform hobbles towards you. From behind him, the chunks of concrete, of rockcrete, and crumpled plasteel. His cracked helmet is adorned with a crooked label that reads Sergeant Malgar. Alright, so us guys are in lockdown, and rebels are shooting down anything that flies, and you lot just happen to land in our rear without a scratch. To show for it. And on a shuttle like that. Where'd you get it? Stolen from the palace, isn't it? He is visibly awed by the splendid gold in your transport. Grab 'em, lads. We've got ourselves a rebel landing force. Abelard turns purple. By the Holy Throne, what is this mess? Idaria glances around. They're in a rough spot, old man. Go easy on them. Abelard and light this rabble had the proper manner of greeting the God Emperor's chosen. Abelard clears his throat. Before you stands rogue trader von Valancius, you ignorant worm. Snap to attention this instant and give her ladyship a formal report. Hi, Mr. Man. What are you doing? Aside from trying to bite me. Okay. A mixture of awe and terror as terror. He snaps with a mixture of awe and terror. He snaps to attention, raising his freshly cut chin like an exemplary soldier, and barks, "My mistake, ma'am." At once, the starport is under the control of the governor's wardens. Perimeter commander is Sergeant. A frag grenade explodes, a frag grenade explosion cuts off the rest of the sergeants, and shrapnel flies everywhere. With a piercing screech, one of the soldiers falls to the ground, clutching the remains of his forearm, and is now adorned with crimson tatters. Blood pours from the stump, and the soldier's agony is short-lived. The sergeant curses and hastily says an army prayer for the dead. With a rasping cough, the sergeant turns back to you. "Pardon me, ma'am. Sergeant Laszlo Malgar reporting. My unit is holding the starport on the governor's orders. How may I serve? Some dirty dog nearly shot down my shuttle." "Affirmative, your ladyship, ma'am. It's all those damned rebels. Those maggots somehow got their hands on an anti-aircraft battery that's causing our shuttles no end of trouble. That thing really packs a punch. You're lucky they missed you. I've seen them fry 2 shuttles carrying reinforcements. Not a soul survived. What's going on here?" "Unrest, ma'am. Armed rebellion on both capital and in both capital and provinces. First the lower levels sparked, and then it went up to the spires. They hit Vox hubs, arsenals, and mag train stations." Then Fleek tore off his mask precisely because he knew there was trouble in Ricordus Minoris. He knew that none of our allies could come to our aid. Casio lets out a sorrowful sigh. "You may continue your report, peasant." "My unit was here when it all went to the Groxes." "Oh my goodness." Do you hear the purring? Okay, hi. Yes, hi. The tech priest linked to satellites reported sightings of strange void ships in the system. They were orbiting the star until one of them set course for landing on Ricode Majoris. The governor took precautionary measures and ordered that to increase security. Stop that! Stop! In order to increase security at key facilities, everyone knows whenever something's not right, you better double the warden details. The alarm was raised and we were sent to secure the starport. That's the only reason we were able to hold it. They're crushing us, the scumbags. It's been a whole turn since the last reinforcements came in. We're running low on ammo, every fighter is wounded. I don't know how bad it is on the streets, but they'll drive us out of here any moment. What caused this rebellion? Ill thoughts, ma'am. We've fallen on hard times and the ground keeps shaking, things keep exploding, and the people are scared. They've forgotten about their duty. And that's when those, Emperor forgive me, preachers came. They started riling everyone up. Sure enough, we shot a few, but they just keep coming, more and more of them. Cannot leave your people without reinforcements will be sent from my ship. I live to serve, the sergeant is so astonished she barks out the mandated words of gratitude for any non-mandated, after a non-mandated lengthy pause. We won't fail you, we won't forget. We'll be praying for the God Emperor, to the God Emperor for you, your ladyship, ma'am. Do you happen to know if a member of the Inquisition has come here? At the words Inquisition, the sergeant's face fills with awe. I don't, ma'am. There definitely haven't been any visitors like that on my watch. You might have to inquire at the headquarters, your ladyship. I'm going to see the governor. If I may report, ma'am, as long as the rebels keep shooting the damned anti-aircraft battery, there's absolutely no way to get your shuttle to the governor. It would have to be on foot, and the streets are dangerous. I'd send you with an escort, but I've assigned all available troopers to accompany the esteemed archpriest to the governor. I'll give them Vox orders to wait for you, and I'll inform headquarters they better send out a convoy to meet you halfway. Meanwhile, we'll follow the governor's orders and hold the line here. Edora's frowns as her gaze grows distant, as if she's looking through the sergeant. You are a good soldier, but you've got a lot of blood on your hands, both yours and others. You know the same hand that salute might falter in darkness. Rank and epaulets won't save you from the bitterness. Pardon me, my lady, but I can't get my head around these fancy words you're saying. I've seen plenty of blood, but trust me, I'll fight till my last drop. Sergeant shakes his head in disappointment. If only Sergeant Davin of Tetram was here, he may have completely lost his marbles, but I'd let him accompany you. You could have walked to the governor's palace without any harm befalling you. Davin of Tetram, who's that? One of ours, a veteran. No clue how he ended up here. The man's from a Toma Prime, on the other end of the galaxy. Crazy, silent chap, crazy eyes. But you should see him slay the enemies of humanity. There's none like him. The sergeant casts a glance somewhere past the starport. When it started, he went missing out in the streets somewhere. Worse news for the rebels, though. He's an absolute beast in close quarters combat. Is the path ahead dangerous? What exactly awaits me there? The sergeant sighs heavily. All our roadblocks are gone. The whole place is in rebel hands. The city's almost lost, so no help will come. We've been surrounded by rebels, and watch your step, ma'am. The streets are chock full of mines. His remark about mines lodges itself in your memory. More than anything, you will need to watch the ground and your surroundings. You'd rather risk being shot by a rebel or jittery soldier than experience a few handfuls of lethal shrapnels resting on top of 300 grams of explosive physaline. What tech priest? A very important person from the Adeptus Mechanicus arrived on the last shuttle before they locked down the skies. He kept asking whether anyone by the name of Amarant God, boy, cat, that hurt. Sorry, I just got claws in my knee. Well, something like that had arrived recently. Barely answered any of our questions, though. Alright, sorry, I just unplugged my microphone. Somehow. He demanded to talk to our governor, so I sent a quarter of my troops with him to stay out to you're a good soldier, Malgar. Malgar, I'll see to it that your heroism is noted. The sergeant blushes slightly. I live to serve. Another explosion interrupts the sergeant's words. With a sigh of relief, he turns to his soldiers and spits out a booming series of commands.
Keep your wits about you.
Grand Viaduct for receiving esteemed guests is buried under the rubble. Oh.
So, this is how
The pilot, dressed in a crumpled uniform adorned with the Vombalencia's coat of arms, looks quite pale. Her white hands bear red marks left by the wheel. The scream of terror she let out when the missiles flew right past your shuttle is etched into your memory. Her voices quiver slightly, but fear cannot stop her from using the typical Voidman jargon. That was some flight, your ladyship. If we'd been a little less lucky, we'd be checking into the port in the sky right now. What was that weapon they fired at us? I cannot say, your ladyship, but the shots it fires certainly fly quick. I've never seen guns like that before. And they were firing from far away, almost beyond the bar. The horizon, that is. Who gave the Yalbs a terrifying contraption like that? Your name, pilot? My bad. Your ladyship, senior flyer, senior pilot, Nimus. Appointed senior deck officer to serve on your personal shuttle. Leave. I just demand to know her name and leave.
You will beg for mercy, and I will grant none.
I'll turn you into corpse starch.
Someone just said, I'll turn you into corpse starch, and I could certainly go for some corpse starch right now.
Let's get to it.
Show me what you've got. I'm here, maggot.
Out of my way.
How
and dishonor.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Try to die with grace, at least. Me, if you insist, Lord Captain. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Alright, I got a bead on
As the
that guy.
Emperor commands, I act.
Daria, scream. Then blind this man.
Moving out.
Here we go. Brace yourself, Abelard.
There we go. 2 down.
I refuse. I'll see to it personally.
Let's get to it.
God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. I'll do it.
A dance of blades and shadows. The other side awaits.
It will be done. Reduced to dust.
You don't frighten me.
Let's get to it.
Me?
Took him out.
They who discern the future on the battlefield.
Alright, let's see here. Nope.
Follow my lead.
I'll make it happen. You never stood a chance.
Ooh. That was a good shot.
Out of my way.
Rejoice in battle. Doubt is for the weak.
Bella there.
As honor ordains. Killing brings me no pleasure. Trust me, death is a blessing.
I
I've
was
seen
there.
worse battles than this in my time. cost.
You will survive, but, you know.
Let us not dawdle.
I swear, I just took out the rebels that were menacing these guys in like a small amount of turns. Alright, for fear of getting into another long conversation, because I know a couple of those are coming up, and having to restart from the beginning of this level, we're going to quit now and call it for today with rogue tradering, and just stream the stream. We're gonna cut it a little short. I know we're not quite at the 4-hour mark, but you know, we're close enough.